All right, folks, we have reached the point in the semester in which we'll be switching gears and starting to work with research and sources, other voices besides our own. That doesn't mean that we'll be abandoning your storytelling skills that you've already been working on. This assignment is a both and situation. You will be exploring your identity through research, reflection, and storytelling, and we'll use the question, what does it mean to be a blank, to guide you. In essence, this paper is an opportunity to write about and explore an aspect of your identity. Identity is one of those words that has a lot of different meanings, so you might be wondering what I'm talking about. What does identity mean to you? The definition of identity that I'm using for the purpose of your paper is this. Identity is your sense of who you are, your self-image, the way you think about yourself, the way you are viewed by the world, and the characteristics that define you. Identity is dynamic, meaning that it changes and shifts in different environments. You might behave very differently when around your family, your friends, your teachers, and by yourself. When you occupy different roles, you may find that your sense of self shifts and changes. Identity is comprised of all the idiosyncratic things that make each person unique, such as your beliefs and values, your personality, your family, your community, your history, your birthplace, your interests and hobbies, your class, gender, ethnicity, and even your appearance. For this paper, you're just going to pick one tiny piece to focus on. I have all of these different aspects of my identity. I'm a teacher, writer, reader, mom, blah, blah, blah. But I have to narrow my choice down to one. In the past, I've written about being a collector and a writer. I've written about being a teacher as well. And so I've had to focus in on one thing at a time. In the past, students have written about a range of topics, including athletes, siblings, musicians, dancers, outdoorsmen, gamers, members of a religious group, travelers, cartoon watchers, makeup artists, fan of certain bands, person who uses dark humor to cope with their trauma, and much, much more. That just scratches the surface of possibilities. If you find yourself saying, I'm just a blank, as you try to think of a topic, you may have just found your topic. The impulse to say just actually means it is probably key. I'm just a mom. That's a one that I hear a lot, and it's important. You don't actually need to decide at this minute. That can lead to bad decisions, to just pick something at random. But I do recommend that you start thinking about options this week so it won't come as a shock when you do have to choose. If you can't come up with something, a topic to choose, I suggest that you write about your identity as a student, because that's something we all have in common. Once you have your topic, you'll write about it using a blend of research and storytelling. A lot of times people want to put storytelling and research into distinct boxes, but the truth is that some of the best writing combines both narrative and research. Throughout this paper and activities, we'll be drawing upon the power of combining these two skill sets to create interesting, life-affirming, and readable essays. Basically, you can think of this assignment as a mega beefy reflective narrative all about you that is supplemented with sources and other voices. I really hope it's so good that you give it to your mom and she hangs it up on your refrigerator to show off to the world. Maybe your grandma or cool uncle will do that too. Either way. You could choose to repurpose one of the reflections you've written earlier in the semester, and I'm totally down with that. It's a good idea. Do it. Let's talk about research. For this assignment, my definition of research is very broad. You don't need to use scholarly journals. The main point for this assignment is to practice incorporating sources into your own writing in an elegant and seamless way. As long as you're bringing in distinct voices other than yours, I'll count it. One of the key skills we'll work on is the quote sandwich. This technique helps to create lovely introductions and explanations of sources. This is my number one concern in terms of what we might call research. We will also watch a number of videos created by ISU librarians in the Library Resources book in week 12. You can use the library for all kinds of help. Don't wait until you're desperate. Ask a librarian or me, because those librarians, they know how to use Google even better than we do, either you or I. And they want to help. So, in a nutshell, this assignment should include a thesis statement that answers the question, what does it mean to be a blank? It should be 6 to 8 pages in length, incorporate 5 sources, use quote sandwiches to introduce source material, refer to personal experience. So go ahead and explode some moments for me, guys. And then show growth of your own self, and then surprise and interest me. Make it interesting for me too. In order to help you complete this research paper, I have divvied the next 6 weeks into a number of smaller assignments that will build to your final draft. The first 2 assignments, Pieces of Me and Discovery Draft, are essentially invention activities. Your bibliography and annotated bibliography are assignments designed to help you start finding and incorporating sources. Your rough draft will give me the opportunity to provide some feedback before you turn in your final draft at the end of the semester. Some students fall off the wagon at this point in the semester, but getting behind is a really dangerous game. Keep up, even if it means sacrificing perfection for getting it done. Keep going. Always hand something in. I've included an example that shows you each individual assignment within the assignment series. You can find it in the normal places on Moodle. When you turn in your final paper, you don't necessarily have to turn in the entire process, because I will have read it at the time. But I did try to make it each of those pieces available to you so you can see how each contributes to the whole. An important this is what I was just talking about. The PDF of my piece is available that you can look at. I also have a student example that you can look at. So what the next piece that we need to do is to get you into this research assignment series is go and check out the Pieces of Me identity reflection. That'll be the first paper that will help you get your research paper completed. So go and head on over there, and I'll see you then.